going on, guys? So today we're gonna be leveling my brother's Tundra, and his tires right now, they're 275 65 20s BF Goodrich. The front fender sits at 36 3/8, and we're gonna be raising it 2 inches. We got a 2-inch Yitamotor's leveling kit for Tundra. They're not a 1-to-1 ratio, so they're not exactly 2 inches, but after you put them on, it'll raise it to 2 inches. So we're gonna take the wheel off, and then we'll see what happens after that. All right, so got the wheel off. While we were at it, we did the brakes because they were real worn down. And next thing, we need to take off the lower shock bolt and completely remove it. And then we're gonna start by taking these 2 bolts out that are on the knuckle and holding the lower control arm. There are 22 millimeters. Yep, 22. And then we gotta loosen the bolts that let the lower control arm swing down. So we're gonna loosen those down, so whenever we remove this, the lower control arm just swings down. That way we can remove the lower shock bolt and then loosen the 4 bolts that are on holding the that stuff up there. So we're gonna do the bottom ones first, this one, and then we'll see what happens after that. Alright guys, so we undid the 2 bolts that hold the lower control arm in place. We undid the bolt that goes on the shock, and then this bolt that goes on the sway bar. And we didn't lose those 2 bolts for the control arm, but we did push it down with a little bit of force to get it out. So we're gonna do that. We just gotta undo the 4 bolts that are on top of the strut, and that should be able to let us pull it out. After we do that, we're gonna put the new spacer in there. Then we're gonna have to compress the shock in there to put it back in place. It's just gonna be 1.5 inches lower or somewhere around that. So we're gonna take the strut off, and then we'll show you once we are gonna install the spacer in there. Alright, so after putting some force into it to getting this thing out, finally got it out, and we're gonna put the spacer in there. I'm probably gonna add some anti-seize on the bottom. I just don't want it to be rusting out super quick. Put some Loctite on this ones, and luckily we don't have to cut them because they fit just inside the thickness of this. So put some Loctite on that, and I'm gonna put the original nuts on those, which I believe that's how they go. And then they provided some bolts that go on this ones. So I'm gonna do that. We're gonna put it back in place, tighten everything up, and show you guys once we have it in there. Alright everyone, so at the end of the day, we ended up removing sway bar. I mean, just the sway bar bolt, shock bolts, the 2 bolts that I showed you guys under here, the 4 that went up here, and we didn't undo those on the back. We just put quite a bit of force on this, pushed it down to put the shock back in place, because it was real hard trying to get it back in place. And so we got the spacer in there. We bolted it down. So that's pretty much it. We're gonna do the other side, and then put everything back together, and then I'll come by and measure it out to see what the final height is. Alright guys, I just got done doing the level kit install on this 2013 Tundra, and you guys remember before we started it was 36 3/8, and now we're at 1/16 off of 38. So that's 1 3/4 inches or so. It's not quite 2 inches, but that's better than nothing. So his tires, they come on to 34 and some inches. I think he needs to upgrade tires because they're all worn out. He's gonna be getting 35s. I'm hoping so. He's a cheap ass, so we'll see what happens. So stay tuned. If we jump to 35s, then I'll let you guys know and post a video on this. So there you guys have it. That's how you install Yitamotor's level kits on this 2013 Tundra. See you guys on the next one.